This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by BMO Harris Bank.
I'm here with Isaiah Robinson, senior for the Neuqua boys track and field team. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, successful year for you, good year for your team going downstate. Can you just talk about what your goals were coming into the season for yourself and the team?
So after junior year, we had a pretty good showing at state. My personal goals were to be a state champion and drop my times in both the 800 and the 400. But team goals, I just wanted to put our team in the best position. I thought we had the right group of guys to contend for a state trophy. So team goals were just getting down there and getting the trophy land. And then also I was just focusing on personally my 400, 800 times my senior year.
You got that state title for yourself, the personal one. Now there was a little change before sectionals that you had to adjust to. Can you talk about what went through that decision and how you had to adjust?
So we had a pretty strong showing in preseason. We were performing pretty well. Everyone was doing pretty well in practice. And then it's just as soon as indoor season hit, it was kind of like we realized that we weren't really focused. The team wasn't really performing to what was expected of us. And we thought we were in a little bit of a slump, and we weren't sure how we were going to perform outdoor season. So there was a lot of worrying about how we would perform at sectionals getting down to state. And then we came back conference. We had some rough weather, some rough meets, but we came back conference and really made a strong showing, won the conference title. And then going into sectionals, we thought that our best shot down at state would be to stack our relays and to put all our best guys in those relays. Some guys didn't get to run their open events, but we believe that those relays would make up for those points and maybe even a little bit more.
Was that difficult on you as a senior towards the end of your year or end of your career here to have to adjust to that, or was it a pretty easy transition?
I would say it was kind of difficult, but I just thought I didn't want to be selfish with my own personal aspirations, and I knew that I would probably get the opportunity to run some postseason races. So I kind of did what I had to do for the team, and I was willing to set an example for everyone else and take part in those relays and just give all I had for those.
Now you mentioned some bad weather you had. Does anything change for you in the mindset when you go in when there is bad weather? Because everyone has to deal with it, but how do you adjust?
Weather is kind of is a mindset. You just got to realize that everyone else on that track around you is going to have the same conditions. It's just you can't let it get to your head. You all have to compete in those conditions. So if you can kind of zone that out. And another plus is that we've been practicing in that weather all year. So it's nothing new. You just realize you've been running in it. Just in competing in it isn't going to be that much different.
Yeah, you can't go sit inside when it's bad out. Now, state. Can you take me through your head before the race started, and if there's anything different during, and then after you guys won?
So before the race, I was pretty quiet. I only really talked to my teammates when we were in the tent. Usually, I would greet other runners.
So you're a little different.
Things felt there was a little more pressure, so I was just really focused on getting to that line. But during the race, the nerves started to build up a little more. I would say that during high school, I kind of learned how to manage my nerves before big races, but it just all came back before I got the baton.
It's the last chance.
Yeah, last 800 of high school. So I got the baton and it just zoned out and just went all in for the race. Just had my mind on. I had the lead, so it was nice to have the lead. So I went out pretty fast. I was pretty excited, and then the pack came back up on me, and then I realized I had to go. So I just dropped the hammer and I finished through the line. So and then after the race, I was back to myself. I was greeting everybody, talking. It was just a weird feeling.
Was that one of your best feelings as an athlete?
Yes.
At the end there? Yeah.
Just greeting my teammates afterwards.
Now, you kind of led me into my next question. You mentioned the pressure already.
Mm-hmm.
In different sports, I guess it could be different for every sport how athletes deal with it. Do you think the nerves and the pressure can help you more than hurt you in this sport? Or because when you go to the free throw line in basketball, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
You're just running as fast as you can at all times. What do you think it is, how nerves affect track?
I think confidence is a big part of that. It has to be how you look at the race. I think that if you're pretty nervous before the race and you're even thinking about it during the race, that's going to affect you if you're not like believing in your abilities, if you're not trusting your training. But I feel that nerves, for me, help kind of because you get that little adrenaline rush at the beginning of the race, and then usually once you get out the blocks, you get off the line, it's all about the race. You're not really thinking about
all your fundamentals,
yeah.
everything kicks into play. Any pre-race rituals that you have that you've done through 4 years?
I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I usually like eat pretty close before my races.
Like how long before?
Pretty much right before I go in the tent, I'll have like an apple or like a granola bar. Okay. Yeah. I know some guys, like, they said they couldn't do that because they would throw up, but I don't know. I usually have something to eat before the race. I don't like going in feeling hungry, or like, I guess more of a mental thing. I feel like I won't have any energy if I don't. But just for depending on the race, 800s, I just like to get a jog in, do my warm up by myself, and then for 400s, it's more of a go through some more range of motion, some more stretching, because I'll be sprinting at a faster speed. So.
Now, in your 4 years here, is there a certain runner that you've loved to go against, and another team you've loved to go up against?
From the team aspect, I think Neuqua is a good team. I had a lot of fun racing against them, especially as an upperclassman. They always showed up at sectionals. I remember my junior year, we were going up against them in the 4x1, the 4x2, the 4x4, and then I watched our guys go against them in the 4x8. And then even this year, they had guys in every event against us. We raced them in the 4x4 again. It's just always fun to race them down at sectionals and at state. And then when I look at the runners across the state, in the 800, I gotta give props to my guys Antonio Davis and Thomas Mosley. I race against them all of summer through my summer club team, and then we always see each other in the state finals. So I've made some good friendships with them.
It's nice to have guys push you too.
Yeah.
Now, your off-season training, I guess there really is no off-season, but when you're not actually in this season here for school, do you take time off ever? Is there windows where you don't really do anything, or how does that work?
Usually sophomore and junior year, and even freshman year, I went straight from the state meet to my club training.
So
yeah, and then after nationals, which is usually in early August, late July, I'll have like a 3-week break, and then I would go back to strength training. But senior year, I went to cross country. That was a big change in my training. That's the first year I did that. I would have loved to do it all 4 years. So, but yeah, usually there's only a 3-week break. But this summer, my college coaches said there's not really a need for me to run summer track and compete like that. It's just I just got to stay in shape. So I'll be getting my workout package soon and getting those workouts in, and maybe jumping a couple races just for some fun.
Well, now we're almost there to college, so
yeah.
I'm going to touch on that in a second. What do you think that you've had to work on your hardest here in your 4 years here to get to where you wanted to get to be a state champion, that you think you'll have to work even harder at to get to where you want to be in college?
Okay, I think one of the biggest things I had to work on at Neuqua and as an 800 runner is my endurance. I started out in the 100, 200 head speed, and then when I moved up to the 8, I've always been working on just those base miles, that endurance, that second lap, the strength training to close in that second lap. And I feel like in college it's just going to get more intense, and just for going out fast and having to sustain that speed. So I'm looking forward to those more challenging workouts. But I feel like VO2 max, endurance, and strength training is things I'm going to continue to work on.
Now the college process, just take me through how you ended up picking USC.
Well, I started off talking to schools like Iowa and Nebraska, and they were really pushing me for that early signing period, which was in November. But I didn't feel like I didn't need to rush that process, especially as like I wasn't like a national ranked athlete, top in the nation. So I felt like I had time to like really think about where I wanted to be the next 4 years. And so I skipped over that early signing process, and then I visited USC in November of last year. Met with the coach, with my family. We were on vacation. Met with the coach, explored the campus. I remember him telling me if this is where I see myself, where I want to be, I would have to put in the work, because I didn't really know I was going to be there until April. This whole time I was just working in the classroom, working on the track, and just reaching their standards. So recently, when I found out that that's where I would be going, I was really excited, really happy that whole process. It was a very long process,
Yeah.
Very tiring, stressful, but it all paid off.
Any nerves about going that far away?
Actually, my parents, they were kind of against me going anywhere very far. Like they said anywhere longer than 8 hours is a little too long. But the thing about USC is we have family in LA.
Okay.
My mom's side of the family, so she's a little bit more comfortable with me going out there, just to have that support if I need it.
They got an excuse to go to California. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice. Now, what about? Do you know what major you're going to pick yet?
Yes, I'm gonna be picking engineering. I'm undecided which discipline, but I'll be going in undeclared engineering.
Well, that's exciting. And last thing I want to say, is it kind of weird having two of the best athletes at the school having such similar names, you and Isaiah Robinson and Isaiah Robertson?
Oh, yeah.
Do everyone ever mix you guys up? Or?
A lot of times. I remember sophomore year, I would get his football letters, and I'll be like, oh, I wish I could get some letters, get recruited. But yeah, it's been really funny these past 4 years with Isaiah, and it was actually.
You guys friends?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
we're pretty close, but he left for Notre Dame early, so it was kind of cool when I was the only Isaiah in the school. I had that for a semester.
You know who they're talking about. There's no confusion. Well, you guys are kind of at rival schools because USC and Notre Dame they don't
Those
like
two
each other
private
that
schools,
much.
yeah.
Well, best of luck out in California. Congrats on a great season and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.